ladies and gentlemen, the Philippine National Anthem.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Now, can you hear me loud and clear?
Yes po.
All right,
Opo,
thank you.
sir.
Today kicks off the month-long celebration of teachers' contribution in nation building. Absurd it may seem, but you might take it as well. Isn't it funny recognizing the massive contributions of our teachers just for a month? The sacrifices that they put in this very demanding profession are beyond words yet underpaid. How sad that it's the howling reality. To count the efforts of our dearest teachers is a big challenge to lead. Imagine a child who gets to school as naive and clueless and comes out soon as either a doctor, a lawyer, or an engineer. It's magic, right? But our teachers didn't transform this child using a wand, but through their passion, dedication, and unparalleled patience. Truly, they deserve more than a month. Amongst the countless lectures that you've heard so far, what is the best lesson you've learned from your teachers? In turn, we as teachers, what's the best lesson you gave your students? I included myself because I've been an English language and literature teacher for almost a score now, and I'm proud of my profession. Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Powerhouse Scholastic Center. I'm Mark Castro, the program head, and I'll be your host for today. Powerhouse Scholastic Center is an online platform dedicated to professional advancement training sessions, reviews, and certificate courses. It employs instructors, review specialists, and trainers who are adept in their fields of specialization. PSC, although holds courses online, still maintains an office in the heart of Quezon City. With its determined founding partners, Powerhouse is committed to deliver quality instruction across the globe in the digital world. At this point, allow me to welcome all participants whose backgrounds are diverse, although most of whom are teachers. We also have government employees and a chunk of graduate school students. Also attendees today hail from the different parts of the country, as this is a nationwide workshop. Let me acknowledge those who came from the NCR. Kindly press the virtual raised hand if you're from Metro Manila. Yan, Sir Ranel, of course, one of our alumni. And of course, from NCR. Saan yung mga taga-NCR po? Ay taga Luzon, yan. Sa mga taga Luzon. Right. From Visayas. I saw the stats. Ang dami nating participants from Visayas. Thank you so much po. And of course, Mindanao. Asan yung mga taga Mindanao? Thank you. Today we are joined by our dearest graduates. Baka nagtataka yung ating mga bagong participants. Because we hold research writing in series. Actually, this is 8 weeks. An 8-week refresher course in writing research paper. Today is very special because it's the very first time since February of last year that we will be offering mixed method research. This is supposed to be a special lecture for our graduates only, but we decided to open it to public. And but I would like to welcome back our completers. They're all here. Although this is just I think a half, but we sent out invites to all of them, but a handful only confirmed. Ma'am Yasmin, welcome back. Sir Cyril, who just finished last week. Ma'am Elsie.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon. Thank you po for the invitation.
Sir JP is also here from Nueva Ecija. Hi, sir. Ma'am Neats. Yan. Welcome back, Ma'am. Ma'am Mila.
Hello, sir.
Hi. Ma'am Rochelle, who just also completed last week, is back again. Sir Ranel.
Thank you, Sir Mark.
Ayun. We're very happy to see you again. And always remember that PSC will forever be your home. So those who just attended, those who are new faces in our center, hopefully that you can also see us in the succeeding weeks as we opened our Cycle 4. Yung mga graduates namin na yan, parang galing na yan sa Cycle 1, Cycle 2, Cycle 3. Ang katatapos ng Cycle 3, yan, si Sir Cyril at saka si Ma'am Rochelle. The rest, meron yan, maraming batch na tapos sila Cycle 2. Ayun. Part of PSS, later on, we'll give you a list of the weekly workshop that we conduct here, especially designed for research writing. Let me continue. Part of PSS vision is to hold professional advancement training sessions that serve as a venue for interaction amongst leaders, students, and practitioners of different fields. Today, we'll give you a slice of that via writing mixed method research. And my honor to present to you our in-house brilliant lecture in terms of research writing. I'll just do the very brief introduction, but most of whom he will be doing a humble introduction of himself too. Yan. Our in-house lecturer is a well-decorated, international acclaimed researcher whose works have been published here and abroad. His excellent works made him chosen by the Asia Pacific Excellent Award as the most outstanding Filipino writer in 2017. A resource speaker, lecturer, facilitator, teacher, and an excellent researcher. Friends, meet Dr. Frederick Edward P. Fabella.
Hi, Sir Mark. Happy Sunday sa ating lahat and welcome back sa ating mga graduates. So thank you for joining us again, no? So parang reunion. Ayan.
Yes, sir. Nakakatawa.
Yeah, buti na lang may ganito tayong webinar for our graduates na pwede nilang join. So yung mga graduate din sa inyo, if you're going to finish the course, no, you'll also be invited to attend yung mga ganitong perks. Ika nga sabi ni Sir Mark, no?
Yeah.
By the way, mic test nga po kasi napansin ko nga po, Sir Mark, medyo mahina po yung mic mute talaga. So I don't know, baka ako rin ganun din mahina. Mahina po ba yung mic ko?
You're audible. Sir.
Okay naman po, sir. Audible.
Okay na, sir.
Okay
Okay.
naman. Ayan, thank you po. Uy, si Ma'am Elsie nandito. Ayan.
Sir, nakita ko sila ulit.
Oo nga eh. So, familiar faces. Sige po, sisimulan na po natin, ano? Let me just run my slideshow again and then let me just share it sa screen. Okay, so wait lang po Yan, okay, so this is my slideshow. Okay, so although napakilala na po ako ni Sir Mark, no? So these are what I'm involved with right now. So I'm connected with 5 schools. I'm also of course, I'm here with Powerhouse. I'm also an international trainer for LifeWorks, which is based in Canada. So on Wednesday, meron po akong international training for Singaporeans po yata. So anyway, iba-iba po kasi. So this is what I do. Yan, and sige po. So simulan na po natin. So mixed methods in research. Now, this is something that is very rare actually. hindi mo siya lagi na-encounter. And pag sinabi mo mix, di ba, parang some of us medyo reluctant na nga mag-qualitative tapos imi-mix mo pa yung dalawa. So ano yan, no? Parang wow, no? Ang hirap naman, ba't ko papahirapan ang sarili ko? Okay? So minsan ganun yung attitude. Pero that's understandable kasi nga research is not something that we were trained in kasi nga hindi naman tayo nabutan ng K to 12, no? Hindi gaya ng mga senior high school students natin presently, no? They undergo training in research. In fact, grade 11 pa lang gumagawa na sila ng qualitative. Imagine that, no? Okay, so simulan na po natin. Now, of course, we need to answer first the question, what is mixed methods? So, sige, let's clarify. So, it draws upon potential strengths. So, may strengths kasi si quali saka si quanti, no? And it also explores yung diverse perspectives, no? And dahil you are combining both paradigms into one, no, you try to uncover a relationship between what you discover with using one approach. You try to connect it with what you discover with another approach. So basically, ganun lang po yung to simplistically explain the objective of mixed methods. No? So purposeful po. There must be a purpose. Kailangan medyo swak. No? Tugma yung mga approaches. Kasi siyempre maraming quali approaches. Maraming quanti approaches. Kaya para po ma-appreciate nyo itong mixed methods, dapat alam na natin yung basics of quanti and the basics of quali. Otherwise, no, you are swimming in a deep pool. You do not know how deep, no? Kasi nga we still need basic appreciation of both paradigms to be able to appreciate mixed. Yan. Okay, so mini-mix po natin. Mamaya we will go into the details of how it is mixed. Okay, so wait lang po. Ayan, okay. Now, if you look at this diagram here, this is a simplified version of how quanti and quali are mixed. No? Simplified po ito. Hindi po siya ganun kasimple, pero simplified na. Para na magkaroon tayo ng idea kung ano yung mangyayari once we engage in a mixed methods approach. No? So you have your quanti, you have your quali, and then you can either compare the results, you can either integrate the results, and then you interpret. Ayan, no? So syempre, when it's quantitative, it has its own data collection and data analysis. Iba po ang data collection and data analysis ni quanti at iba rin ang data collection and data analysis ng quali. No? That's why separate po ang approach po natin for both paradigms. All right. Now, you might encounter what is called the multi-method approach. It's not the same as mixed method. Yan. So, ang multi-method po uses one paradigm only, either quanti lang, or quali lang, pero maraming different methods na ginagamit. Let's say, for example, nag-experiment ka, nag-questionnaire ka pa, puro quanti yun. No? Yan. So, parang ganun lang naman yun. No? Sa quali naman, no? Nag-phenomenology ka, nag-grounded theory ka pa, parang quali yun. So, that's mixed method. That's multi-method rather, sorry. And iba po siya sa mix kasi mix talaga nagko-crossover si quali saka si quanti. Okay? So, ganun lang po. Just wanted to clarify that. Baka kasi maguluhan tayo. Okay? So, ayan. Within the same paradigm po yung mga methods na gagamitin natin. So, of course, with anything, there are strengths and there are also challenges when we implement a particular approach. No? May challenges ang quanti, may challenges ang quali. And imagine what challenges you will encounter when you do mixed method. No? You have to select the right research method and identify the research question, ano yung objectives po natin. And you must be able to justify the use of the mixed methods because ibig sabihin, kulang kapag nag-quanti ka lang or kulang kapag nag-quali ka lang. So, ganun po yung pinupunan ni mixed method. Ano? Later makikita natin how they can be intertwined to produce a more elegant and more profound research result. Ayan, no? So we attempt to understand connections or contradictions between quality and quantity. So we should not expect that whatever you discover in quantity will automatically be congruent with what you will discover in the other paradigm. Okay po, so ganun po yun. Sometimes they might have similarities, sometimes they might contradict each other. So that's the beauty of mixed methods, no? Hindi natin pinipilit na magtugma yung dalawa. Alright, so ano po yung rationale? Bakit po natin gagamitin sa mixed method? So another way of rephrasing that is bakit natin papahirapan ang ating sarili? No? Kasi mixed method is the most difficult. Pinagsama mo yung dalawa. Okay, so credibility. Your findings are supported by two paradigms. You know how isipin how powerful that is. No? Two paradigms are supporting your findings instead of just one. Okay, context, no? Because you can you can have a contextual understanding. At the same time, sa context, no, phenomenological or qualitative. At the same time, you can generalize, no? You can generalize your findings. Kasi may quanti ka eh. Well, of course, it will depend on your sampling method in your population. But you're drawing on strengths pa rin of both. Yeah, no? Illustration. You are able to create a clearer and more complete picture of the situation. Diba? Kasi not only can you represent your data mathematically through quantity, but phenomenologically through the quality. No? You're able to explore the phenomenon of the topic that you're trying to study. Okay? Yan. So you improve the usefulness. No? Kasi it will be useful both from the quality and quantity perspectives. Yan, no? Okay? Confirm and discover. So you can either confirm something that you already know from one approach, or you can discover something new with a second approach. So, ganun po yung nangyayari later kapag you engage in mixed methods. And of course, you have diversity of views. Now, lalo na kapag there's more than one researcher and there are more than one different types of participants, research participants. Syempre, no, you might need more than one set of respondents. Of course, we're talking about people here, no? You might need more than one. One for quantity and one for quality. Pwede bang same? Pwede. Later, we'll find out kung paano yun. So, mamaya may mga examples tayo. So, mas maintindihan natin to kapag may examples na. Kasi pag wala example, no, it's all just theoretical and imaginary. Imagine na, ano kaya yung sabihin doon. No, so, later, we'll find out ano ba yung mga examples dyan. Okay? So, let's move forward. Yeah, no? So, what are the things that we should consider when we're going to use mixed methods? No? So, ito yung mga dapat pag-isipan muna natin before we even venture forth into this unknown, no? Into this unknown territory. No? Pag-isipan po natin itong mga bagay na ito. Does the research question justify the use of mixed methods? Huwag natin pilitin. Gagawa ka mixed method. Eh, wala ka pang problem eh. No? Unahin muna yung problem and then think of the method later. Sometimes kasi ibang tao ganun eh. They think of the method and then, may pwede problem na gawin ko with mixed method. Di ba? Of course, pwede mo nang gawin yung kung talagang gamay mo na yung mga methods. No? Minsan ganun eh. Well, ako, I can conceptualize in that way. No? Nag-iisip ako, gagawa ko ng experiment ko. Kaya na siguro no, kapag sanay ka ng gumagawa ng research, different types of researches. Okay? Sequence, steps, the process of the research. Meron bang sense? No? Kasi syempre, paplanuhin mo eh. If you are familiar in DepEd, no? If you're familiar with the Gantt chart, meron silang steps, no? If to meet the deadline of the particular research, you are supposed to submit a Gantt chart or a calendar plan of what you're supposed to accomplish at a certain point. So, merong flow yon. So, it should be a sequence of events that flow naturally, one after the other. Yan, no? Yan, which, of course, aims to answer your research question. Yan, no? Okay, so, yung data collection and analysis ba, is it well aligned with the study aims? No? So again, babalik tayo dun sa tanong na ito bang mixed method, quantity and quality, makakatulong ba ito talaga? No, dun sa study aims natin, objectives of the study. Okay? Remember, objectives are different from the statement of the problem. Iba pa yun. Okay, so ano yung objective mo ba? Yan. Okay? Does one method dominate the other? So later we will find out how this domination happens. No? Or are they equally important, quantity and quality? So, or does one dominate the other? Okay, mamaya malalaman natin ano nangyayari yun. Okay? Did the use of one method limit or confound the other method? So this can happen. If you are limited by one na approach, hindi pa rin masagot yung iyong katanungan, then you might want to suddenly add the other approach. Mamaya, malalaman natin kung ano yung tinatawag na emergent. Okay. So, ayan. Okay, so, when, how, and by whom is data integration mixing achieved? So, when you integrate the data from quantity and quality, kailan, paano, at sino ang gagawa nun? Yeah, okay? All right, so those are the considerations before we even decide on using mixed methods. Kasi hindi pwedeng pilitin, no? Pipilitin natin. Gusto ko makaproduce ng mixed methods. Wala pa nga. Baka mamaya yung question mo, no, masasagot lang naman ng quantity yan, ba't pinahirapan sa sarili mo, no? Magre-react yung makakabasa. Pwede naman palang sagutin ng quantity ito, mixed method pa niya. Nahirapan niya sarili niya. We have to avoid situations wherein the reader of the research or the panelists will say that to you. Bakit ka pa nag-mixed method? Masasagot mo naman pala using one approach. Diba? Parang, oo nga, no, nahirapan sarili mo. Baka patanggal pa nga siya yung isang side, yung pagiging mix niya, no? Gawin niyang simple quality or simple quantity na lang. Okay? So, kailangan talaga justified. Okay, so unless it's justified, maybe we shouldn't even consider mixed methods. So anyway, the goal of this webinar naman is to open our eyes to the possibility of mixed method and how it can be done. Para pagdating ng araw na you do have a research question or a statement of the problem that cannot be answered solely by one paradigm. You have another. You have the tools that you can use. Now, another tool, which is mixed method. Okay? So, ayan. All right. So, there are three different drives. No? So, this has something to do with classification, typology. And these three different drives will characterize the nature of your mixed methods. No? It will characterize it. Paano? Let's look at them one by one. We have what is called the qualitative dominant. Yan yung sinasabi natin kanina. Paano na-dominate ng isang isa? No? So, qualitative dominant, no? You first start with the qualitative. Parang sinabi mas mahalaga to. Pero, dagdagan natin ang quantity, no? Because it will add to the robustness of the findings. So, mas mahalaga si quality, dinagdag mo lang si quantity to support quality. Okay? So, mahirap imagine yun, kasi theoretical pa lang tayo. May examples tayo. Okay? Yan. Alright. And then we have the second drive, no? Drive number 2. Quantitative dominant. Siya naman ang nagdo-dominate, no? Or quantitatively driven, no? So, it now quantitative is now the primary paradigm being used. Pero at some point, na-realize mo na parang makakatulong tong quali. So, you add the quali to the quanti, pero quantitative pa rin na mas mahalaga. Pangdagdag na lang si quali. Okay? So, pag dominant kasi parang optional na lang yung pangalawa. Yan, no? And then you have the third drive, equal status. Yan, both of them are important. Quali and quanti. Okay? Both are important. Of course, it will only be justified by your research question. So, pantay sila, patas. Patas ang halaga nila. Okay? And later, makikita natin yan how these three drives manifest in an actual research. No po? Okay, so yun lang po yun. Ano? So, medyo simple pa yung ating approach. No? So, sino mas mahalaga, sinong dominant, ganyan, ganyan. And then we have the equal status. All right. So, moving forward, another one that we need to consider when it comes to typology of mixed methods, kasi kahit mixed methods, maraming uri, no, are these things, no? Simultaneity. Whether you do the quali and quanti simultaneously, sabay mo bang gagawin yan? To do that, syempre, hindi mo kaya mag-isa yan. So, this contemplates the existence of a team of researchers. Kaya madalas sa mixed method, ginagawa ng more than one. No? Siguro, may dalawang tao. Isang mas gusto niya nagka-quali siya. Isa naman, mas at home siya with numbers o quanti siya. No? And then they join forces to produce a mixed methods research. Pwedeng yun yung kwento kaya nagkaroon ng mixed methods. No? So, in that case, if there are two of you, two researchers, no, you can do them simultaneous. Although, of course, pwede rin naman mag-isa ka. Yun nga, nakakalito. Sabay mong ginagawa si quali saka si quanti. Di ba? Alright? And another, so timing po ito. Another factor that affects timing is dependence. What is dependent on what? Is the quali dependent on the quanti or vice versa? So mamaya makikita natin yung concept of dependence. No? Ayan. So when you are designing mixed methods, no, sometimes you will find the word concurrent in the methodology or parallel or sequential. Yeah. So sa methodology ng research, makikita mo yun. Concurrent mixed methods or parallel mixed methods, sequential mixed methods, no? Or even in the title of the study itself. No? Of course, maintindihan lang yun ng mga taong na talagang immersed sa research lang. No? Lalo na yung mga alam yung mixed methods talaga. So if you Google a research or a study na may mga ganyang words, mixed method yan. Okay? So kung gusto nyo mag-Google ng mixed method, no, sulat nyo, concurrent, parallel, or sequential. Dun sa Google search bar. Yan, no? So, concurrent means sabay, simultaneous, current eh. Diba? Parallel, sabay pa rin. No? Parallel yung dalawang kalsada, so sabay mong pwedeng tahakin. Pero sequential means mauuna isa. There's a sequence. Yan. So ngayon, nagkaka-idea na tayo no, paano ba ipoporma yung ating mixed methods. No? Sabay ba yan? Magkasunod ba yan? Yan. No? Alright. In a sequential design, pwedeng mauna si quanti and then susunod si quali or vice versa. No? Sequential po yun. Hindi dahil wala kang time gawin sabay. Kundi you need to do one before you do the other. Diyan naman papasok yung concept of dependence. Hindi mo pwedeng gawin yung pangalawa kung hindi mo pa nagagawin isa. No? So there's a difference between wala kang time gawin sabay pareho at kailangan talaga mauna isa bago yung pangalawa. Mamaya makikita natin yun sa examples. Okay? So in a concurrent design, no, it's possible to for example, collect interview data and survey data. Remember, interview data is quali. Survey data naman is quanti. No? You can do that simultaneously. Basta kaya mo. if it's humanly possible for you. No? Okay. So yan, concurrent design naman. Pag concurrent kasi, there is no dependence. Walang dependence. One is not dependent on the other. Hindi pwede, di kailangan may mauna. Okay po, so can you clarify lang po natin? Yan, no? So, the two research components become dependent if the implementation of the second component depends on the results of the first. So, depende. Depende pa yun sa resulta ng una. At kung yung resulta ng una does not call for the implementation of the second, no? Nag-quanti ka, nakita mo, hindi mo naman pala kailangan mag-quali, wag na. Huwag mong pilitin. Useless na yun. No? Okay, so parang ganun yung kina-contemplate nitong dependence. Alright? Okay. So, ayan. So, two research components are independent if the results of one do not depend on the results of the other or the analysis in the other. So, dependent. So, pwedeng concurrent, pwedeng parallel, pwedeng sabay. Okay? Pwedeng sabay mo ginagawa. Now, again, it will all depend on your research question. Hindi natin sa pilitang sinasalaksak sa sa mixed methods yung ating study. Kailangan justified talaga siya. Otherwise, magtataka talaga yung panel mo or yung makakabasa. Why do mixed? Okay? So, ganun lang. Alright, so ito ngayon yung ating, this is what is the takeaway here. No? Meron kang concurrent, sabay sila, which is also independent. No? And then meron kang sequential, magkasunod, which means one is dependent on the other. No? You only put them in sequence because you cannot do the second without doing the first. Or you won't need the second unless the first warrants the same. So, ganun po yan. Okay? So, let's now go to point of integration. Let's say, for example, gagawa ka na ng mixed method. Let's say, justified naman yung paggawa mo. No? So, what is point of integration? So, tingnan muna natin ito. No? So, mixed methods design, no? You'll have different quality and quantity approaches. You'll have different qualitative and quantitative data collection. You'll have different qualitative and quantitative data analysis. No? And of course, you'll have different qualitative and quantitative sampling techniques. Yan. So, ito po yung mga gagawin nyo, sabayan. No? You'll have to do them both. Yan, no? Quality and quantity, quality and quantity. So, alin dyan, saan ka dyan mag-i-integrate? Kasi at some point, you need to integrate the two. Okay? So, para lang makita natin, point of integration is where the two research paradigms converge. No? Pag nababanggit yung converge, iba na yung naiisip ko eh. Okay, so anyway. Ayan. So, alright. Okay, so ayan. Point of integration. So it's also called point of interface. No? Saan mo, anong point mo siya i-combine yung dalawa? Qualitative and quantitative components. No? Alin dun sa mga components ang i-integrate mo? No? Kasi if there's no point of interface, hindi siya mixed method. Wala eh. Hindi mo pala i-combine yung dalawa eh. Kung hindi mo i-combine yung dalawa, di separate studies na lang yan. Isang quantity study, hiwalay mo na yan. Isang quality study, hiwalay mo rin yan. Hindi mo na i-combine. Di ba? So there must be a point of interface. Otherwise, hiwalay mo na yan. I have two studies about one topic. One is quality, one is quantity. Huwag mo na i-combine. There's no point of interface. Okay? So, this is the point at which the components are mixed. So, alam na natin ano yung mga components, no? Sampling, data collection, data analysis, etc. Alin doon? Saan ka mag-interface? Again, no? Mahirap imagine unless meron kang actual research na ginagawa. Di ba? So, this is still all theoretical. Pero kailangan may unawaan natin muna ito. These are the key concepts of mixed methods. Kailangan appreciate mo natin to. Okay? Ayan, so theory muna tayo. Yan. So ways that components can be connected. So kanina nakita natin sa diagram, no? So you can merge the two data sets, no? Or you can connect the analysis. So analysis na. Sa analysis level may connect yung dalawa. No? Pwede rin i-embed one form of data within a larger design or procedure. Mamaya makikita natin yung concept niyan. Nested. Using a framework theoretical to bind together the data set. Sometimes there are theoretical frameworks that actually fit the mold of the mixed methods. Mamaya makikita din natin yun. Pwede. Okay? So, design typology. Now, disclaimer lang po, no? Marami kasing typology. Marami po. So, if you encounter a typology that was not discussed in this webinar, huwag kayo magugulat. Sabi doon sa powerhouse, ito typology. Ba't iba yung typology na nabasa ko dito? Iba-iba talaga. There is no uniformity in research po. When I attended an international conference in research, that was the question I asked. Bakit po iba-iba ang format ng research, ang terminologies, approaches and everything? No? Bakit hindi na lang come up with a universal design, no? For everyone, for the whole world. Kahit sa buong Pilipinas lang, kung ayaw yung whole world, no? Kasi yung APA, isipin yung APA, di ba? Ilang bansa gumagamit na. Yun nga lang, syempre, discover pala na hindi pala lahat ng bansa gumagamit na. Kasi may MLA din, ganyan, Modern Language Association, kalaban ni APA yun. So, yun yung problema sa research. There is no uniformity. So do not be surprised if you encounter typologies that are very different in name. Kaya ang gagawin ko dito, I will try to present different types of typology. Yun nga lang, that was what I was wrestling with. Will I present them just one type of typology? Or I'll present them different typologies para at least alam nila na may iba-iba. Para hindi sila magulat later pag nagbabasa na sila ng mga research, nag-google sila na research. Bakit hindi ganito yung mga sinabi sa powerhouse? So, ganun, no? So, sabi ko, sige, I'll just try to present an overview of the different typologies. Pero, yung examples na i-consider natin will just be based on one type. Okay? So, ayan. Simulan na natin. So, okay. So, again, nakita na natin to kanina dun sa unang diagram. So, pinapakita lang natin ulit. So, quantitative and qualitative will each have its own data collection, data analysis, and results. And then, you will compare or contrast the result. This is the most basic type of mix, no? Ano ang tawag po dyan? So, kung gagawin mo yan sabay, di ba? Parallel independent. Tama po. Or concurrent independent. Tama po. Kasi pwede mo gawin yan sabay. Independent of each other, and then compare and contrast the results, and then interpret. Why are they similar or different? Yan. That's the simplest form, no? Concurrent, independent. Kung gusto niyo pong ganyan, okay na. Di ba? Mixed methods na yan. Tapos na. Wala nang problema. You don't have to worry about the others. So, yan na yun. No? Kung gusto niyo gawin yan, pwede na yan. Concurrent, independent. All right. So, but there are other typologies. We will discover it now. No? May tinatawag na exploratory research wherein nauna si quali, then followed by quanti, and then you come up with your insights. Explore. You explore a new experience. If you have attended my webinar before in quali, no, the use of quali, sometimes it's used to explore a new experience. Yan, kasi nobody has yet found out, no, how that experience is for people. Like, for example, astronauts. No? I cannot imagine what it feels like to be an astronaut. No? Pero to be able to understand what to measure in the experience of the astronaut, you must first explore the experience. And to explore the experience, you first use quali. Otherwise, you will be assuming. Nag-quanti ka kagad. Diba? And then you come up with your insights. Now, Explanatory research. Ito ngayon yun, no? You come up with a quantitative design first and then you realize bakit ganito resulta nito, no? Hindi dahil mali ka, no? Pero dahil yun ang hindi mo na-expect na ganun yung lalabas, no? For example, ano ba? You try to measure the difficulties, no, the difficulties or the challenges of online, of learners who are now engaged in online. Nag-survey ka, ganyan, pa-survey ka. Tinry mong i-measure yung kaning level of enthusiasm. Level of enthusiasm of online learning. Siyempre, computer yan, gadget yan. Kasi lagi naman sila nag-gadget. So you make this assumption. You make this assumption now that since they're already using gadgets for social media, for games, no, YouTube, yeah, they might enjoy using their gadgets to study. And then nagpa-float ka na ng questionnaire and then lumitaw the opposite, the exact opposite of what you were expecting. No? Mababa ang enthusiasm nila. Okay, so now you want to explain bakit. Bakit mababa ang enthusiasm nila? That goes against the logic of it. No? Kasi mahilig sa mag-gadget eh. So, bakit? You now want to explain your findings. So, you now engage in qualitative. Interviewin mo ngayon sila. No? Yeah. Now you see, no, the difference between exploratory and explanatory. And then we have dynamic research. No? So, quali and quanti. And then you see where they overlap. Where they are similar. Ano yung similar findings ni quanti and quali. And then the similarities, yung Venn diagram na yun, yung overlap. Yun yung try mo explain. Okay? So this is one design typology that you might encounter if you're Googling researches. So this is a more complicated typology. So malilito na kayo. No? Convergent parallel design. So kanina na-discuss natin yan. So, ayan, nakita nyo yun. Sabay siya. Quanti, quali. So I hope you can still see it. Merge the two sets of results and interpret the merged results. And then ito, familiar, ito yung kanina, explanatory and then exploratory, di ba? Quanti before quali, quali before quanti. No? You can see there that there is a dependence. Yung binabanggit natin kanina sa timing, dependence. Sa explanatory, nakadepende si quali kay quanti. Sa exploratory, nakadepende si quanti kay quali. I hope you nakikita nyo ngayon eh. In those two instances, hindi sila pwedeng sabay gawin. Hindi gaya sa convergent parallel design. No? Pwedeng sabayan and then just merge the results. No? And then we have the embedded. The embedded. So it is a small segment, no? a small portion of the data will be subjected to qualitative. No? Or a small portion of the respondents or participants will be subjected to qualitative. Yeah, no? So quanti siya mas malaki and then quali is embedded within. Or others would call it nested. Kaya hindi nagkakasundo ang ano eh. The whole world does not agree on the terminologies. Para hindi kayo magulong. Kasi sa iba-ibang school din, iba-iba rin ang tawag. No? Quanti and quali nga lang. Iba-iba na tawag ng mga schools. Kasi iba-iba nga rin ang tinuro sa atin. No, kaya napa-pass down yun. No? And then you interpret the embedded results. Okay? So this is another design typology. Okay? And then let's try to complicate it one more so. Another design typology. Okay, para lalo kayo maguluhan. Joke lang. Okay, so more or less naiintindihan naman. Madali lang naman intindihan. So sequential and concurrent. So sequential, may mauuna. And concurrence, sabay mong gagawin. So, they call it strategy. And then what is the variation of that particular strategy? Let's consider first sequential. Sequential, may mauuna. So, you have sequential explanatory. Sakop niyo yung nabanggit kanina. Or sequential exploratory. Di ba? Yun pa rin yung kanina. And then, kita niyo sa diagram, di ba? Quanti muna bago quali. So, quantitative dominant siya. Qualitative bago quanti. So qualitative dominant siya. Kaya na all caps. No? And then you have sequential transformative. Critical theory lens. Itong ganitong mixed methods, gagamitin mo lang yan kapag you're using the critical theory. Mamaya malalaman ka ng critical theory. Okay, sequential transformative. Wow, ano yan? Ayoko na malaman yan. Never mind. Joke lang. Okay, and then we have the concurrent. So sa baba naman tayo. Concurrent means sabay. Concurrent convergent, no? You converge the results of the two. Once you converge. Then you concurrent nested, no? Yung embedded yun. The nested is embedded, same word, same thing, no? You're just using different words. And then you have concurrent transformative. Yan naman si critical theory. Now, para maintindihan natin yung critical theory, kasi baka sabihin nyo din, pinakita ko sa inyo, hindi ko naman na-explain, no? So, critical theoretical approaches, ano naman ang sinasabi dyan, no? It allows the researcher and the participants to question the natural state and challenge the mechanisms for order and maintenance. So dito, syempre hindi natin very rarely will you use the critical theory lens. No? Kasi you're doing research to question the situation. Bakit ganito? Kaya nga critical. You are critiquing, you're criticizing the situation. So in that sense, no, gagamit ka ngayon ng either sequential transformative or concurrent transformative. So that's as far as my explanation will go. No? Otherwise, ito na lang ang pag-uusapan natin. Na tayo ba pag-uusapan? Okay, magugulahan na kayo lalo. And besides, you will probably never use that ever. No? Mixed methods na hirap na eh. Gamit pa tayo yan. Okay, so ayan. So these are the different design typologies. So if you encounter these words, at least alam nyo na. Some words mean the same thing. No? Embedded, nested. No? Concurrent, parallel. No? Ayan. Medyo common si explanatory saka si exploratory. No? You have sequential. These are the words that you might encounter when you are reading mixed methods researches. Diba? Pag nag-related literature na kayo. No? Okay. So, ayan. So, doon sa examples na ibibigay natin, mga consider natin today, we will use this typology. So, this typology gagamitin natin. No? Kasi I found interesting examples of this type of typology. So, isa-isa na natin. Ano? So, we will consider first the explanatory sequential. So, na-encounter nyo yun kanina. Diba po? Or sequential explanatory. Nabalik-baliktad lang. So, in sequential explanatory, or explanatory sequential, no, quantitative data are collected and analyzed first. No? And then when you find something curious or interesting about your quantitative data, that's when you use qualitative to explain the findings in the quantitative. So I found an example, no? Yan. Sa dito, we are going to use the example of the medical field. In particular, registered nurses, RNs. Yan, so RN, registered nurse. Working in an emergency room. Anong gusto ko malaman? Level of stress nila. Nino? Ng mga registered nurses na graduate. Kaka-graduate lang. Saan? Sa emergency room. Okay? So, nanonood kayo ng mga palabas na may hospital setting gaya ng The Good Doctor. Yan, alam niyo yan. Ano ba yun? Yung Grey's Anatomy, yung mga ganyan. Nanonood kayo ng mga ganun. Di ba? Minsan may mga dramatic scenes dyan. No? Okay? So, emergency room setting. Yung mo, level of stress. No? So, ang quantitative approach muna is national survey of new registered nurses working in an ER. Yan, measuring levels of workplace stress. Nag-quanti ka. And then what? You do now a personal interview. After you realize na ganito yung level ng stress nila, you do now personal interviews of 15 to 20 new RNs, no? Working in a emergency room setting. Yan, no? Para ma-discuss naman nila kasi alam na natin yung level of stress nila. Pero we want to find out further, bakit sila na-stress? Hindi na sasagot ng quanti yun eh. Quanti does not answer the question why. Right? Kasi di ba ang quantity descriptive lang. It does not explain. So ngayon, quali will try to um, enlighten us about the reasons. No? It's not enough that we imagine. Ba't kaya stressful? Siguro ganito, ganyan, ganyan. Ini-imagine mo na lang kung bakit stressful. Hindi mo inalam kung bakit. Right? Lalo na ngayon. Di ba? Oh, alam na natin yan. Pandemic times. Okay? And then you synthesize. So the synthesis there is sequential. Inuna mo si quantity and then si quality. Okay? Simple lang, di ba? Parang ganun lang pala. Hirap. Kala mo, hirap-hirap ng mga typology. Yeah, ganun lang. Ganun lang si mixed method. That's it. Simple lang, no? Kinombine mo lang siya. Okay? So, qualitative data helps explain, no, the quantitative data. Okay? So, ganun lang. So, simple lang, no? Alright. Ayan. So, let's move forward. Now, we have the sequential exploratory or exploratory sequential. Mauna ngayon si quali bago si quanti. Although I gave you already a simple example kanina. Let's consider again this. So, registered nurses ulit. No, tingnan natin. Identify highest sources of workplace stress for new registered nurses working in hospital ERs. So, uunahin mo si quali. Highest sources. So, paano mo malalaman highest source? No? So, magka-quali ka muna. Siyempre, interview ka. Or, gaya dito, ang ginawa niya, focus group, which is just a group interview. Diba? Okay, so, nag-focus group date discussion siya with newly graduated registered nurses working in the ER. Yan. So, and then, siyempre, tatanong mo doon, no? What is the greatest source of stress for you? Pwedeng yun na itanong mo. No? Yan. And then, quanti. Saan mo naman gagamitin ng quanti? No? So, because of that, because of the discovery do sa interview mo, do sa focus group data mo, na meron pala silang level of stress, that's when you create a national survey. Baliktad, ano? That's when you create a national survey. Stress pala sila. Gawa tayo ng stress survey. Diba? Yan. So, in-explore mo muna yung experience ng mga registered nurses of their encounters in the emergency room. And then, now that you know na mataas pala ang stress nila at alam mo na yung sources ng stress nila, no? Based on that, you can now recommend to the Department of Health, to the Ministry of Health, no? Na tara, gawa tayo ng survey measuring stress among registered nurses in the ER. Diba? Pwede. Synthesis is sequential pa rin. So data inform collection, qualitative data inform the collection of quantitative data. Because of your focus group discussion, you now have a basis to gather data on stress. Kasi na-discover mo na stress pala sila. No? Gaya na example ko kanina, enthusiasm ng mga estudyante using gadgets. Okay? Ayan. Now, let's now go to parallel. So, ano yung parallel? No? It's concurrent, no? Independent. Qualitative and quantitative data are collected and analyzed concurrently. So, tingnan natin. Sila ulit, registered nurses na naman. No? So, you identify sources of stress ng mga registered nurses, no? Strategies nila for coping and the programs of support system, blah, blah. Yeah. And then, quanti naman, national survey of all registered nurses, again, no? Identifying stress. And then, what do you do next, no? So, pwede ka rin focus groups and interview, no? And then, you synthesize, you integrate the data that you get from the focus group and the national survey, no? So, they will complement each other, no? Kung sabay mo silang gagawin. Yan, okay? And then, kanina, nakita natin embedded. So, let's try to consider the nested or embedded para, alam nyo, kailan lumilitaw si nested. Yan. It can be either quali or quanti main design. No? Pwede mo na si quali, pwede mo na si quanti. Okay? And one will just complement the other. Okay? So it's embedded inside. Yan, okay. So, example, you want to find out the online peer support group program, no? You want to test whether it reduces workplace stress for new registered nurses in the emergency room. Test mo lang yung support program. What's a support program? Pag meron kang problema, may makakausap ka. Okay? Or meron kang group therapy or what? Group sharing, gano'n, no? Yan. Depende yan sa inyo or sa example. Okay? So, you have an RCT to test online program effect on stress levels and intention to remain working in the ER. Okay. So, tinest mo ngayon, no? Siguro nag-Likert scale ka. Tinest mo yung stress levels nila. Kung nag-work ba yung support program or not. Quanti to. Quanti yan, ha? It's quanti. And then, sa quali naman, interviews nested within, no? Within the program, no? Para, ayan, no? So, you can study more the user experiences of the online program. Siyempre, na-realize, for example, kunwari lang effective yung program. So, nag-Likert scale questionnaire ka. And then, nakita mo, bumaba yung mga stress nila. And then, gusto mo yan malaman, ano yung specific experiences ng mga participants mo, mga respondents mo, that help them. Diba? Kasi hindi naman lahat ng aspeto ng program ay nakakatulong. Right? Gumawa ka ng program, maraming aspects yan. Okay. So, synthesis. Qualitative analysis is embedded within the main quantitative study. No? To inform. Uy, effective siya. Effective si support program. Let's find out now. Let's find out now what aspects of the program and what experiences the registered nurses had with the program that we can use maybe to even improve the program further. Okay? So, ayan na. So, yun yung typology na ginamit natin. Okay? So, 4 basic types. Although nakita niyo naman sa diagrams yan, di ba? Let's not talk about planned versus emergent design. Ano yung sabihin yan? Sometimes, gaya nung kanina, may mga times na pwede mong planuhin si mixed methods. No? But there are times when there is a change of plan na yung in-expect mong results, no, did not come up. Di ba? Gaya nung kanina, level of enthusiasm na binigay natin example. No, hindi pala enthusiastic yung mga bata na mag-aral gadget. You don't know why. Kasi siya hindi ka naman estudyante, hindi mo alam ano yung nangyayari sa kanila. Yung pala kaya sila hindi enthusiastic. Well, you don't know yet, no? So, ang gagawin mo ngayon, dahil nalaman mong zero enthusiasm sila, nagkaroon ka ng emergent design, no? Gumamit ka ngayon ng sequential. Sequential what? Explanatory. Diba? Sequential explanatory, no? You want to explain bakit zero ang kanilang enthusiasm, and then from the explanatory, gagamit ka ng quali afterwards, nag-interview ka ng mga estudyante, and then you found out, kaya kami hindi enthusiastic kasi hindi na kami nagkikita. When I have my classes recently, pag di ba, nagkaka-start lang ng klase, sabi ko sa mga estudyante ko, college students, batiin niyo yung mga klase niyo online. On-cam kayo. Turn on your cameras. Turn on your cameras so you can see each other. Kung nagbago ng mga mukha ng inyong mga klase, nagbago ba kulay, umikli ba buhok, kulay ng buhok, or umikli ba yung buhok, humaba, may balbas na ba yan, may bigote na ba yan, tumaba ba yan, pumayat ba yan. No, nakikilala niyo pa ba yung mga klase niyo? Batiin niyo yung mga klase niyo. No, magsalita kayo sa microphone. Batiin niyo sa chat box. Tingin yung mga klase, hindi nyo na nakikita after ng 2 taon. 2 taon sila hindi nagtatagpo, no? Unless magkapit-bahay yan. Okay, di ba? Imagine, no? Kaya experience mga kabataan yan. So these are things that we have to deal with. I don't know how strict it is in your area. Pero from what I know, di ba wala pong face-to-face anywhere in the Philippines, right? Wala pa yata, no? Okay, so Emergent yon. Hindi mo pinlano. Pero dahil yung resulta ay kakaiba, zero enthusiasm, no? You wanted to explain. So nag-quali ka, nag-interview ka, and then you discovered kasi hindi na sila nagkita. No? Hindi na sila nagkikita. Alright. That's why they're not enthusiastic. They're waiting for the time that they would finally see each other again. Okay? So ayan, emergent design, no? When one is inadequate. When one is inadequate to address the research question that you have. Okay? So magbabago. Of course, if you're doing a thesis, no, kailangan ipaalam mo muna yan. Change of plan ka. No? Nagdagdag ka. No? Of course, wala naman yata gumagawa. Gumagawa pa ba nun? Siyempre, kung ano yung thesis mo, yun na yun. Right? Ito mo papahirapan sa sarili mo. Practical, for practical purposes. No? Okay? So, or a researcher could decide beforehand which research components kung talaga mag-mix method ka. You have to have foresight kasi. Anticipate. Kaya pag ako ay panelist sa proposal defense, sa title defense, so mag-defend pa lang siya, si graduate student ng title or proposal niya, no? Sa whether it's nagpapanel ako sa doctoral or sa masteral. I always ask the defendant, the candidate, the candidate, ang tawag namin candidate. I always ask the person na what are you anticipating as the results of your study? Ano yung ina-anticipate? What is your expectation? Ano yung magiging kasagutan sa yung statement of the problem? Mahalaga yun. Di ba? Mahalaga yun kasi you have an expectation. Stressed ba sila? Malungkot ba sila? Di ba? Masaya ba sila? Effective ba itong program na ito? Yun ba yung ina-expect mo? No? Mahalaga yun. Kasi that can inform you as to contingency plans. Ano yung contingency plan mo? And then I follow-up question ko lagi after I ask that first question. So, what are you going to do if you find out that your expectations are not met? Tinatanong ko din yun sa mga defense. Sa proposal or title defense. What are you going to do? Hindi mo nakita yung result na nahanap mo. Diba? That's another thing to consider kasi you're assuming only na I want to discover this kasi alam ko na ito yung lalabas. What if hindi? You might need an emergent design. Di ba po? Okay. So, ganun lang po yun. No? So, developments during the research execution, you might need additional components. Yan. And then you have dimension of complexity, complex bar simple, no? Simple and complex designs na pwede may distinguish according to what? Whether or not there is a single point of integration, kasi di ba marami tayong points of integration, whether it's in the analysis or the data, or whether you do the data gathering with during the research itself, kung ano siya, sequential. Okay? Yan. Another thing that we need to consider are the secondary design considerations. Ano yung mga yan? So, will the study be addressing same part or different parts of one phenomenon? So, different phenomena, magkaiba ba, or different perspectives. So, this will inform the design of your research. Now, this goes for all, for quanti, quali, or mixed. Yan. Okay? So, ano pa? Is the phenomenon expected to be unique? Once lang ba yan nangyari? Like for example, dati, akala natin once lang mangyayari yung Ondoy na ulit na nagka-Ulysses. So now, di ba, unique yun nun eh. So ngayon, hindi na siya unique. Pero if it's unique, no, it's only going to happen once. Don't expect it to happen again. Okay? Yeah, no? Social scientific theory, no? Are you going to generate a new theory? Or are you going to test an already constructed theory? Kaya pag gumagawa tayo ng thesis, di ba may theoretical framework. No? Pag may theoretical framework kasi, testing it. That's why you have a theoretical framework. But if you're going to generate your own, no? Sa qualitative, may tinatawag na grounded theory. No? You come up with a theory grounded on the experiences of your respondents. Okay? What's your ideological drive? No, na mabanggit dito, no? Feminism, critical race paradigm, transformative paradigm. No? So these are things na sa ano yan, social context. Okay? Sa combination of sampling methods, nabanggit natin kanina sa point of interface. Ano po? Yan. Ano yung gagamitin mo methods and how will you combine them or relate them? Degree to which the research participants will be similar or different. Yeah. So if you're using similar participants or different participants, no, in what way are they different? And how does that affect your data gathering and your data analysis? Okay. How about the researchers? Kung marami kayo in the research team, how are you similar or different? Will your similarities or differences affect your data gathering? Your bias, no? Your bent, no? Your leaning. No, yung mga ganun tayo, yung mga bias tayo. Heterogeneous and participatory, no? Try to imagine if you're part of a research team na international, iba-ibang lahi. Yeah, di ba? Imagine that. How will your research, no, come out kung ganun? Naturalistically, experimentally, or through a combination of these. No? So of course, no, these are things that you can consider whether you're going to do it, observe it naturally, or you're going to experiment with the people that you are studying. Okay? Ayan, ano pa? Are you going to use a standardized test and participant observation? Kasi magkaiba yun. Di ba po? What justifies using the standardized test as well as observing them? What justifies it? Bakit mo siya kailangan i-observe? So you need to have a justification for the approaches that you're going to use. Diba? Yeah. So observation is quality. No? Standardized test is quantity. Validity and criteria and strategies. No? Ano yung, of course, sa quantity, validity and reliability are very important. Sa quality, importante rin siya. Pero iba yung validation process. Iba po yung validation process sa quality. Sa validation ng quality, that it happens twice. No? It happens twice, before and after. Sa validation ng quantity, it only happens once, before you administer the test. Ano po? And whether or not, no, you will create a full study, no? Or more than one. Yan, yung banggit natin kanina, di ba? Bakit may co-combine? Pwede na mahiwalay. So you can have two studies about the same topic, quality and quantity. No, hindi kailangan mix yon, but may mix just because, no, you want to say may mixed data ka, may mixed methods ka. Okay, so ito, hindi na masyadong these are not primary consideration, kaya secondary. No? But this informs us further about how we will design. Kaya design po ito eh. Didesign mo pa lang, didesenyo mo pa lang yung research mo. Hindi mo pa gagawin. No? Paplanuhin mo pa lang. Siyempre, you always need a plan. That's why sa proposal title defense, no? Yun ang actually tinitingnan ng panel. Ano yung plano mo? How do you plan? What's your question and how do you plan to answer your question? Ganun lang. Diba? Does your plan fit, no, your statement of the problem? Diba? That's it. Does your theory fit the statement of the problem? Diba yung ating triumvirate, no, statement of the problem, methodology, and theory. They must all be aligned. Okay? So, yun lang po. Now, if you are interested to find out or read about mixed methods research, no? Puro mixed method research lang ang gusto niyo mabasa. Sabi ko nga lagi, when I give a webinar, you want to understand something better, get a sample. Diba mas madali pag may sample. Get a sample, read it, dissect it, himayin natin, tingnan natin paano ginawa. No? So this is, there is a journal of mixed method, puro mixed methods lang yan. No? You can read that, how they did it. No? How they did the mixed method. So I think you can download that. Yung mga laman nila. So you visit that so that you can see the actual mixed methods research. Okay po? So that ends my talk on mixed methods. Again, overview lang po ito. And if you have any questions, I turn over I turn it over now back to Sir Mike. Ay, Sir Mark, sorry. Sir Mark. Sir Mark pala. Sir Mark, nandiyan ka pa ba? Pasensya na, Sir Mark. Nandiyan pa ba si Sir Mark?
Yes,
Yo,
sir. All right. So, should you have questions, you can now write on the end message, end call messages, or you can unmute po. We still have 16 minutes to entertain your questions. Tinanggal ko na yung headset ko para mas marinig ako. Muli po to all our graduates who came today, thank you so much to our completers. Ayan. Maraming salamat po. While waiting for your questions, can we have a rundown of our upcoming events so that you'll be informed? Although, we'll be sending you a copy of this schedule. So, by next week, that would be the kickoff of our Cycle 4 research proposal till 1 p.m. And then, on on the same week, actually, we're offering basic accounting and bookkeeping for non-accountants. That's lectured by Mr. Jarvis Velasco from UST. And next slide. That's our cycle 4. Ayan. So let's kick off with research proposal next week, and then followed by chapter 1, followed by chapter 2, and then on October 3, quantitative, qualitative, and then we're already including mixed method in our cycle. And then researcher made instrument, and then we'll be capping it off with research article. That's October 31, but still tentative kasi mukhang bakasyon na yata yung part na yan. So, we'll be sending you a copy of this one po when we send you a copy of the recorded version of this lecture today. Now, we already have question here from Ma'am Sheila. Sir, question, can we have 100 respondents for a mixed method po?
okay, so interesting question. 100 respondents for mixed method. Kung uunahin po natin si quanti, no? Kung sequential po tayo. Sequential explanatory. Yan. You can start with 100 respondents. And then, pag isusunod mo na si quali, no, you can probably just focus on a limited number of them. No? Halimbawa, si 100 respondents, binigyan mo ng survey questionnaire. And then, nagulat ka doon sa resulta ng survey questionnaire. So, ngayon, you can just choose from among them. Huwag po tayong kukuha ng outside the 100. Sila rin ang interview nyo. Pero konti na lang. You can either choose maybe, I don't know. Depende kasi sa school kung ilan ang gina-justify nila for quali eh. Basta ang saturation point kasi, for me po, ang saturation point po kasi is 8 interviewees. No? So 8 interviewees will be enough para sa akin for the qualitative portion of your sequential explanatory. Kung mixed method na sequential explanatory po yan. Mahirapan po kayo kung parallel po yan, 100 na mixed method, na 100 na magsusurvey questionnaires, 100 na nang interviewin. No? Maubos po oras nyo. You know, yung pag-transcribe ng interview will take forever. So, ayun po. I think that's how I would answer your question po. Sa 100 respondents, hindi po kailangang pareho sila ng number. No? Kasi sa qualitative, you just need less to achieve saturation point po. So I hope I answered your question, Ma'am Sheila.
Thank you, Doc. Ma'am Jenny Lynn, you're raising your hand. Let me just acknowledge, sabi po ni Ma'am Noreline, thank you so much for a very clear presentation of the mixed method. And sabi ni Sir Kerwin, Sir Mark, do you have a promo for price per dollar? Yes, sir. If you pay in bundle, one lecture will be given as free. Sir Kerwin. Stats lang, sir. Nakakatuwa kasi all I thought, ang masipag lang mag-research, magsulat ng research, mga babae. Yun yung notion ko
Hmm.
before. Kasi sa amin,
Hmm.
syempre sa major namin, napakadaming female. Pero today, with the stats, ang daming male participants today. Yung may biliban sa graduates natin. Yung mga new students natin, ang daming male na researchers. Although
Maganda
before,
pong, yeah, maganda
napansin niyo
pong
sir,
i-research yan. Maganda i-research
opo,
yan.
ang
Pag-aralan
dami, ang
natin.
daming male participants for today.
Gamit, gawin, gamit.
Opo. At trivia lang, yung unang-una naming graduate ay lalaki. Si Sir Lawrence from Philippine Navy. Siya yung kaunahan nating graduate, sir. Siya yung kaunahan nakakomplete ng 8 weeks. Si Sir Lawrence. Supposed to
That's
be dalawa sila
interesting,
ni
ha?
Sir Ram.
Yeah,
Oo.
congratulations sa kanila. Ang ganda yun, pwede natin gamitan ng mixed method yon. Bakit mas marami lalaki? And then
For
interview
today, ang
natin
dami
sila.
sa stats pa, ang dami. Thank you so much po. I know you might be skeptic na what Powerhouse is, lalo pag first time lumabas ng campaign ad namin sa Facebook nyo, account nyo. We've been here for almost a year now. We're celebrating our 1 year this October. At hindi naman po kami fraud. Hindi kami, we really conduct lectures and we're proud that we've been producing quality lectures.
Yeah.
Any topics? Ayan, si Sir Cyril. We'll be sending you invites, Sir Cyril, kasi we're brewing up something. It might be leadership training and we might be adding more for our, kasi nagpapa-affiliate kami sa NEAP, NEAP, and ayan, we're on our way of affiliating our center for NEAP and yeah, and other affiliations. Tinatry namin kasi ang hirap po magpa-affiliate ngayon. How do you go about sampling from quality to quantity, sir?
Ayan. Okay. Si Sir Clayus nanonood ng New Amsterdam. Nanonood din ako nun eh.
Oh,
Tama
mas
ba,
maganda
Sir?
yata yun kesa yung Grey's Anatomy. I'm a fan
Yeah,
also.
mas down to earth yung kwento ng ano eh, ng New Amsterdam. Puro love life ang ano eh. Ang Grey's Anatomy, puro sila palitan ng jowa. Anyway, Sir Clayus, tama po no, sir? Baka kasi nagkamali ako. Yeah, how do you go about sampling from quality to quantity? Sa sampling po kasi ng quality, it's always purposive. So you have to make sure that your respondents have the same common criteria. Meron tayong tinatawag na inclusion criteria for the selection of your quali participants. Now, for example, you in a group of, ganito po yan, in a group, halimbawa, ang gusto mo talagang interviewin ay mga teachers. Teachers who are adjusting to online learning in the new normal. Kunwari lang po, teachers. And then, quali ka, so you limit your interview to just a few, no? Para sa akin nga, 8 is enough, no, to achieve saturation. And then, from the interview, no, you find out na sawang-sawa na sila sa online. Kunwari lang, yun lang. No, kasawaan na. Nagsawa na sila doon. Ayaw na nila, ayaw ka na, gusto ko na ng face-to-face, ayaw ka na gumagawa ng module, nagtuturo pa ako. Kasi di ba sabay mong ginagawa yun eh. So check ka ng module sa modular and then nag-online ka pa. No, kunwari lang yun ang lumabas, sawahan na, ganyan. And then, so ano yung susunod mo ngayon? Are you going to do a quanti based on that? What do you want to study? From the sawana, you can probably come up with burnout, job burnout, or job dissatisfaction. That is the logical next step for you. Kasi yun ang discover mo, burnout na sila. So hanap ngayon tayo ng standardized burnout questionnaire and then i-float natin sa maraming teachers. Totoo ba? We now want to confirm. we now want to confirm whether yung 8 na in-interview mo, their pagkasawa na sa setup na ito can also be observed in more than just these 8, no? Baka yung buong district, division, or region, no? Pa-float ka doon. So you now have a mixed method. And the second one, the quantitative, what depended on the first. Kasi hindi mo naman alam kung ano yung questionnaire mo sa pangalawa. So ang sampling mo ngayon will depend on the population. Sino ngayon ang gusto mong population? Is it the city, no? Or is it something smaller? Maybe it's just the school. Kasi kung isa-isang school lang naman ang galing yung 8 in-interview mo. So it's really hindi po natin masabi na eto dapat pag ganito, ganito dapat pag ganito. Wala tayong nakakahon na sagot eh. I cannot give a nakakahon na sagot kasi kayo rin po magpaplano. And it also will depend on the panel that will approve your research proposal. Yan, no? Alam natin, very fluid yan, mga panel. Depende sa panelists, depende sa school, depende sa mood nila, depende sa topic mo. Dami-dami factors. No? So, yun lang ang pwede kong i-recommend, no? This,
Yes, sir.
yeah. I
kanina
hope,
kasi, sir,
yes.
kanina po sir na mention niyo yung yung coming from quantity to quality, explanatory, na kukuha ka ng yung 8 from the 100.
Yes,
So pag binaliktad, you have more freedom to choose. Ibig sabihin, you don't have to include the 8 coming
Yes,
from the quantity. So mas may freedom ka to choose the respondents if you are doing it from quali to quanti.
Yes po. Kayo po bahala
Okay.
kasi kung ang goal niyo po is mag-generalize, no? How
Okay.
far?
Thank you.
Yeah. Opo. So I hope nasasagot po 'yan.
Yeah,
Ganda yung
po.
tanong ni Sir Cleus, opo.
Kasi yung kasi respondents kasi sabi mo kasi yung coming from the respondents ng quanti. So kapag binaliktad ba ganon, so okay pala kasi may freedom pala pag binaliktad.
Yeah, nagbago po po.
Opo. Thank you po, sir.
Thank you din po.
Thank you, Sir Cleos. Straight from Region 5.
Wow.
Oo. Napakaganda ng lugar ni Sir. Si Sir Kerwin may tanong lang dito. I-address ko lang. SEM po, Sir Mark, baka kasi. Sir Kerwin, is this search engine marketing? Yung SEM, Sir Kerwin, ano to? Search engine marketing. Structural equation modeling. Akala ko SEM or SEO kasi we're also bringing up something about SEO at saka SEM. Baka ilabas namin ng October. But we'll take note of that, Sir Kerwin. Ayan. Did you follow or like already our page po to our new students here at Powerhouse so that you'll get updates on our upcoming events? On behalf of Powerhouse, I would like to welcome Sir Alan, Sir Christian, Sir Clark, Sir Cleus, Sir David. Ay, ito, si Ma'am Yasmin, nagpalit lang ng account. And then, si Ma'am Jeneline, Sir Kerwin. Sino kayo itong Mylene Sensitivity? Ma'am Noraline and Ma'am Rosalinda. And then, the other one is, I think this one is Sir Albert. The one who registered yata this morning. And my question doon, Sir, yung corporate social responsibility, pwede rin ba sa mixed method? I'm about to submit my research title to my professor. Also, can you please help me find related literature in this topic aside from the Google Scholar? Thank you very much po.
Yan, wow. Heavy got yung tanong ni Ma'am Rosalinda. So, what is corporate social responsibility? Yung mga companies, no? They do charity. Di ba po? May mga foundation arm po sila. SM Foundation. Di ba? May mga ganon. So, meron silang CSR fund that they use to help the community where they are embedded, no, yung stakeholders. Siyempre kasama yung community yan. Hindi pwedeng puro profit lang sila. So, they have to give back to the community that's bringing them so much money. Di ba po? Na, kung mag-mix method po, kung ako pa yung gagawa, no, this is what I would probably do. I would survey the community na nakakatanggap ng kanilang CSR programs and then find out whether how effective it is. So quantity po 'yon. And then if no, if I find out na hindi nila ramdam yung CSR nung company na 'yon, kunwari lang no, that's when I can do quality. 'Di ba? Maghahanap ngayon ako ng ilang tao sa kanila to interview. Bakit nyo po hindi ramdam yung CSR nitong company na to, ni XYZ company? Mixed method na po yan. Ganun lang po kasimple. That's how I would do it. Pero ang dami pang pwedeng gawin. No? You can interview the bosses, the managers. No? Oh, you can do many companies. You can do quantitative for many companies. Ang daming pwede eh. So it's such a yung research kasi is so flexible. You can plan so many possible designs. No? Kaya pwede po, Ma'am Rosalinda. No? Pwede po. And sa second question ni Ma'am Rosalinda, I keep mentioning this sa mga ibang webinars, yung SSRN, you can visit SSRN or you can visit ResearchGate or you can also try academia.edu. I don't know nga lang kung naniningil pa sila. So marami pong repositories of research that you can probably access. Kasi uso na yun ngayon, no? Open access. Nalulugi ang mga naniningil eh. Kasi, di ba, para maka-access ka, magbabayad ka. Eh, may mga fee naman dyan. Ang pinagkakitaan naman nila sa advertisements, no? Kada download mo ng or meron ka nakikita advertisements na, di ba? Mga Google advertisements. So, you don't need to pay. So, yun. ResearchGate, SSRN, aside from Google Scholar. So, try nyo po yun. And pag umattend po kayo ng research proposal, I don't know if makaka-attend po kayo. I'll try to incorporate the other sources na alam ko po. Sige po, Ma'am Rosalinda.
Thank you very much, Doc. Sabi ni Ma'am Elsie, hello Sir Mark and Doc Eric sa presentation. Doc Eric, can you share us po sample title of mixed method? God bless.
Sample title mixed method. Nasa na ba yung kanina? Meron doon doon sa slide, no, yung COVID-19. Ha? Ma'am Elsie, para mas marami po kayong mapagpipilian, you can probably visit yung journal ng mixed methods. Kasi you can mention it in the title, a mixed methods approach, no? A mixed methods approach, no? So ganun. Sige, para hindi mabitin si Ma'am Elsie. Ma'am Elsie, kamusta ka na dyan? Si Ma'am Elsie, estudyante ko to. Ma'am Elsie, nakababalik sa eskwela ngayon. Ma'am Elsie, hintay ka na ng thesis mo.
Alam ko po, nga po alam ko po na hindi kayo aalis sa school nang hindi ako nakakatapos ng thesis ko.
Oo, takpo, Ma'am Elsie. Anyway, sige. Baka nabibista ko na si Ma'am Elsie. Okay, kunwari lang po ganito. Parang yung kanina, no? Levels of stress of teachers and sources of such stress. A mixed methods design. So yung levels of stress, masasagot natin yan using quantity, and sources of stress, masasagot natin yan using an interview. So quality. So yun. Ganun lang po kadali, ma'am. You can do that sequential or you can do that concurrent, sabay. Depende po sa inyo kasi you're already making an assumption na stressed po sila. So, ganun lang po, ma'am. Gusto yung topic na stress.
Thank you po. Oo nga po
Opo. Ayan.
Thank you, Doc. Thank you, Ma'am Elsie. Hey, Ma'am Elsie, namimiss si Doc no? And may tanong po si Sir si
Meron pa po.
Sabi ni Sir Cleo, Sir, kayo po ba yung presenter lahat ng workshop? Yes, sir. Dr. Fabella is our pride here at Powerhouse. He handles all the lecture for research writing. What's good about him is maybe in out sa mga estudyante namin na nag-attend sa workshops namin. Maybe they have a unanimous description that Dr. Fabella can make complicated things appear very simple because of his clear, concise explanation on things. I think that's the very definition of a brilliant teacher. Yan. So, sa lahat po ng mga teachers na nandito ngayon, Happy Teachers Month. Magpatuloy po tayo sa ating adhikain and wag po kayong magsasawa. Marami pang batang nangangailangan ng inyong galing at patnubay. Ayun. So, sana, I'm looking forward for the quality and yes, sabi ni Sir Christian. Sabi ko sa Sir, ang dami nating male participants today. Nakakatawa. Unlike before, meron yung time na nag-lecture kayo, mag-isa ni Sir Cyril na lalaki, lahat ng participants babae. Buti tinapos ni Sir Cyril. So yun po, hopefully po, you would continue looking forward to our workshops in the weeks ahead. Tatapusin po namin hanggang before November 1, lahat ng Cycle 4, pipilitin po namin. Ayan, para po makapaghanda yung mga, ayun, para sa mga nagsusulat. Can I just also make a very short survey? Baka po may mga gusto pa nga yung mga workshops na i-offer namin. By the way, yung mga graduates po namin today ay free sila. This is one of other perks. And also, they can easily message me pag meron silang tanong kay Dr. Fabella. Mag-email lang po kayo dun sa admin@pssph.com. Usually, pag wala akong trabaho, chinecheck ko din po yun. Although yung aming marketing officer po talaga yung may hawak ng account na yun. Though sometimes, pag wala na akong work, I'm looking also of some, I'm attending to some matters also dun sa email na yan. So mag-email lang kayo. Pag meron pa kayong gustong matutunan about research or anything, pwede pong paki-chat na lang and then we'll save that up. And then let's see what we can do and create a certain venue for that para ma-offer din namin. Kasi gusto din namin lumawak yung mga programs na ino-offer namin. Kasi for now, we are boxed with research. Public speaking also, we also have. Meron din kaming human management or human capital. Human capital na kasi ang tawag sa HRM din na siya, HRM. Human capital na. And then accounting and then basic taxation also. So we're also offering leadership trainings to different sectors. Ayun. So if you have other things that you would like us to conduct a workshop, parang yung kay Sir Kerwin na structural equation modeling, we're taking down note of this. Sir Kerwin, so once natapos na siguro yung program, solid na, and then we'll send you an invites. Ayun. This is curriculum development. Okay. Ano ba kaya about how to peer review research paper? Sir, and Doc, this, I think you've been mentioning this, pero mas maganda yata yung, sir, may workshop po ba kayo about how to peer review research paper? I think this one is also interesting. Maganda rin siya. Yung, sa akin lang, pero si Doc, ang on authority na magsasabi. May scale model. Meron ba itong sir, matrix?
Alin po? Yung pag-peer review?
Yes po.
Yeah. May ano yan eh. Meron siyang rubrics. May rubrics po yan. Parang ano na lang. Actually, ang peer review parang ano lang po yan. Parang panelist ka lang sa thesis. No? So, ganun lang po yan. Hanapin nyo lang po yung as long as the study conforms with the standards that are being tawag dito, expected by the institution, no? Yun lang po ang ginagawa actually ng peer reviewer. Pero syempre, the peer reviewer, the term peer reviewer is used in the context of publication. So when it comes to academic researches naman, na hindi naman ipapublish, you use the word thesis panelist or thesis evaluator. No? Some schools use different terminologies. Pero si peer reviewer specifically, it's just for publication. Doon po natin siya ginagamit yung term na yun. Pero parehong-pareho lang ang function niya sa panelist. Hindi lang kayo naghaharap. Si peer reviewer kasi you will never see the peer reviewer. Matatanggap mo lang yung ano niya, yung kanyang response, no, via email or electronic, no. Ito yung babaguhin mo, ito yung ayusin mo, ganyan. Sa actual thesis defense, kaharap mo siya, virtual or otherwise. No? So, ganun lang po yun. So it's just like being a panelist and applying the standards of the institution. So in peer review, it's the standards of the publication. So ganun lang po.
Thank you, Doc. And siguro what's good thing about Dr. Fabella, if you attend his lectures, he is a seasoned panelist. Kapalo siya sa mga different universities he gets invited. So he knows what are the questions being asked by a panelist. Tapos, Sir Christian, don't miss our research article for publication. Ayan, kasi tinidiscuss ni Dr. Fabella doon yung gusto niyang mangyaring research publishing into journals. Ayan. Sir Christian and Sir Cleus, ayan. Don't miss out our research article for publication purposes. And human capital, yes, sir. Then dun sa curriculum development, yeah, we're also bringing something about curriculum development. Ang kilala ko kasi na curriculum developer ay language education. Kasi yun yung aking area. Although we'll be finding people to help us out on how to develop curriculum which would address to digital world. Ayun. At saka the challenge. Kasi yun yung kung meron ditong language teacher, yun yung thesis kasi ng friend ko na who is also a PNU1. So, yun yung ginagawa niya, language education. So, we might be inviting her and share with us her insights as regards curriculum development. All this will be offered not later of the month maybe or early of October. Since we already have your what do you call this, email addresses, baka po we'll be sending you list of our workshops every now and then, invitations, wag po kayong magsawa. We'll be sending you all these things so that you'll also be informed. Kasi pag minsan, busy tayo, we're already swamped with work, so hindi na tayo nakapag-check. In case, iti-text din po namin kayo that we're already offering these programs. Yeah. And please, Sir Mark, please send us details. Yes. I-open po namin yung aming registration as regards research article. That would be on October 31. We'll be sending you again, schedule, pa-block nyo na. Sir Christian. Ayan. Saka si Sir Cleus, ayun. Sila nag-aabang. And the rest po ng bagong family members namin dito sa Powerhouse who just attended today. Thank you so much. Maraming salamat for the trust. I think there is still other things that you will learn from us. And so with you, there are still other things at stake that we learn from you in return. So muli po, on behalf of Powerhouse, thank you so much, Dr. Fabella. It's always an honor to introduce you to our students as well as for giving us always a nice lecture week and week out. Ayun. Sa ating mga graduates, thank you so much. On behalf of Powerhouse Scholastic Center, to my fellow board of directors, to Dr. Fabella, our in-house lecturer of research, to our graduates, to our completers, this has been Sir Mark, signing off. Happy Sunday, everyone, and please stay safe. Delta variant is no joke. Maraming salamat po.
Stay safe po. Thank you, Sir Mark.
Ingat po kayo.